That's my Saturday morning, Sunday morning things as I madly try to find the right button, which is that one there. Good morning, it's Sunday morning. This is the Art of Rock, and we are doing what we do on a Sunday morning. We're talking about rock and roll and making it happen. Normally this is every Saturday morning, but today it's every Sunday morning. Well, it's Sunday today anyway, so it will hopefully be next Saturday at this time, hopefully. And look, man, if you want to help me out, join my Patreon, because it keeps me going, and many of my amazing Patreon supporters are here, and I am grateful, and I pledge to keep you going. I'm going to jump straight into it. Julius, you have an amazing question.
Hello.
Hit me with that amazing question.
Hello world, once again. Okay, let's talk about merch. I know we've discussed this topic several times, but here I am. I'm thinking about producing merch for my project, but time-wise, I don't have the resources to handle, to ship out the merchandise and to handle all the orders. So I was thinking about outsourcing it, or whatever you might have for whatever recommendations you have for me, shoot them at me.
All right, this is brilliant. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to 3 different I should put them in order, but of course I don't. 3 different blipverts I did on merch, and I cover basically everything. But we're going to talk about this anyway. Alex, go.
So if you don't mind taking a loss or not making much profit, rather, you can use services like Teespring, and there you can, they will print it on demand, and usually they handle the shipping and the payment and so on, and you just get a cut. The cut isn't very big, but as the flip side is you don't have to do much, and you can also sometimes adjust the how much you earn, and then the price of the product will increase. So you can say, I want to make 10 euros. You can just say, okay, add 10 euros to your price, and they will do that, and then you get your 10 euros per shirt. Or you say, oh no, I don't want my t-shirt to be more than 30 bucks, so you only get maybe 1 euro or so. I think if you don't have the time, that's a good alternative to handling shipping as well.
Awesome. Just a quick question. Is this only for t-shirts and hoodies or whatever, or do they also do like
I think they do everything under the sun. Maybe they do even skirts and so on. I've seen leggings, and so I don't know if this service in particular, but there are many of them out there, so I don't know. I don't have personal experience, but I've heard from other creators that they use such services if they don't have the time to manage it themselves.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, man. Razzie.
This kind of jumps on the question a little bit more than gives an answer, but last time I was considering an on-demand t-shirt service, there are 2 things that came up, and one was they were doing dye sub instead of screen printing exclusively. I think that's probably changed. Maybe if somebody can answer if you've gotten like a high quality screen print from short run or on-demand apparel places like Teespring, and I know there's a lot of them. And then the second thing was, and maybe this is a philosophical discussion, everybody wants to sell quote unquote super soft, thin cotton silky t-shirts, and I've still got a couple that are like really coarse and like heavier than Beefy Tees or Gildan Ultras, and I don't know where to find those.
Holland, you mean the beefy ones?
Even, yeah, and I think even Beefy Tees, Hanes are thinner and softer than they used to be, so
okay.
something changed with those two things.
Can I just start shooting my mouth off?
I hope so.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, here are the you got to get the balance right. Alex, your hands is always up. Should I just throw to you?
I just wanted to say I ordered 2 things from Teespring. One was crap, one was good quality, so I have no idea when it will be which. So maybe there are some things you can select, but okay. I got both good and bad from them.
here comes to the balancing part. In that link, there are a few places that I talk about that are merch fulfillment. So option one is you get the merch printed at a place, and then they and that's going to be cheaper, but you run the risk of, okay, if for you to do a t-shirt run, really it's 30 to 50 t-shirts before it's kind of making financial sense, because that's what this is about. Maybe for some people it's not. But I'm going to assume that you want to make money. So let's say you do one color on a screen printing place. I'm a big fan of screen printing. I will always be a big fan of screen printing because I'm an old school rock and roll pig. And the guy I go to, or the peoples I go to, have access to the beefy t-shirts. Even the more thin and crispy t-shirts, still compared to the shit that you get online, is pretty fucking beefy. You have to remember, cotton equals water. There's a problem. That money, the whole supply chain has changed. That's why there is an increase in thinner cottons, in more blends, and these horrible synthetic t-shirts that feel like plastic bags that look great on TV. They look great on the internet, but when you get them, they're awful. But they're also a joy to digitally transfer onto. And I'm seeing so many of them now on the bodies of people who are sweating like pigs because they're plastic. Anyway, so let's say you go to a screen printing place, and let's say that it's a backyard person. I hope that makes sense. Boutique person, although boutique suggests that they charge a lot. But it's some person in the back with a screen printing press, and they do a pretty good job. So their minimum run is going to be 30 because they have to set up screens and stuff like that. You might get a 21, but usually it's 30 to 50. If you have numbers, I have numbers to suggest for our audience. In fact, I think they're included. There's a link in those videos to a Patreon thing that's got the numbers on it. I can't remember, but email me. So now you have a box of t-shirts. So the next thing is you have to get rid of that box of t-shirts. So you might find another band that you want to have a relationship with, and you might say to them, for every t-shirt you sell, I'm going to give you $5. And in the long run, think about this. In the long run, that might actually be a very, very good option. Because if you're drop shipping something from someone who's already getting something already built, you're going to be paying a lot more than $5 per t-shirt. Diana, your mic's on. That's okay. Doing a good job. So I am all about bands coming together to form collectives, and I was trying to do a thing with German bands to, I'll give you 20 of my CDs, you take 20 of your CDs, butter, and we'll sell them internationally without dealing with fucking import duty. And of course that didn't happen because no one gave a fuck. Anyway, so what I suggest you do is find a bunch of bands who are in your tax area, and that is who you're not paying import duty to, etc. In your case, that's Europe. And you find somebody else who's selling merch who you're good with. And you say, I have 20 t-shirts to get rid of, and soon you're going to have a CD too. And you start saying, for everything you sell, I'm giving you $5, €5, whatever. You figure that out. If you get your t-shirts from my recollection, if you get them printed in the Czech Republic, they're a lot cheaper than getting printed in Germany. However, the German quality is way better. No, nothing against the Czech Republic. It's just you get for what you paid. And, you get what you paid for. So you're in a position to actually be making a bit of money. Plus, you're going to help out another band because you are pushing your merch. You are pushing your merch towards their website where they are selling it. So everybody's helping each other out if you can find somebody who will do that. But people who do that are kind of like, yeah, man, distro's my thing. I'm one of those idiots who distro's my thing. And behind that curtain is a whole bunch of stuff. It's a case of, sure, I'm going to print 50 t-shirts and I'll sell 48. What do you do with the 2 that don't get sold? And after a while, you build up that much t-shirts and merch, and that's why I do all of these deals. It's kind of like Soup of the Day, where it's like, well, I got this size, and out they go, 2 for $20. And another thing you might do with this band is you might say one of your t-shirts and one of my t-shirts, and we'll do it at a joint price, and you keep it all. And as a back scratcher, I don't have to pay for when my t-shirts come in through you. So your t-shirt plus my t-shirt, it's going to be at a reduced price. Instead of it being $20 plus $20 equals $40, it's only going to be $30, but they're going to keep all the $30. And in response to that, they're going to send out your shit for free when they're sending out their orders anyway. That's what I think you should do. That's the collective mindset that really needs to exist in our scene, but probably won't. Sorry, was that negative? So, yeah. But from what I can tell from your photos, you're surrounding yourself with a lot of really awesome people who are fucking want to do it. And you never underestimate the resolve of rock and roll people. Because they'll get shit done. That's what I've learnt. Fucking rock and rollers will get it done. So, that didn't answer your question at all. In fact, it said, here's a whole new shit sandwich for you. That's what I do. But I put a cherry on it. So it's, shit sandwich with a cherry. But I outline all of these other things. Like, Razzie, you mentioned before, drop shipping vinyl. If you want to make absolutely no money and still do the same amount of work, drop ship vinyl. You're not going to get it done. And the pressing process, I believe, is kind of different as well. Fucking vinyl, just don't. Just don't. Don't do vinyl. If you sell 1,000 CDs and you sell them out in 3 months, you can do vinyl. I print 300 CDs. Hey everybody, here's something really humiliating. I only print 300 CDs, and in a Kickstarter I'll sell 100, and then I have another 200 that it takes me 5 to 10 years to sell them. Wow. I still have a couple of dozen hello my name is hello my name E. What's the plural of is? Is? I don't know. But I still have a few dozen of them that it's really hard getting rid of that album. I thought it was a good album. People don't have CD players anymore. But they're always going to be wearing t-shirts. But the world is inundated with t-shirts. So if you're selling a t-shirt, it's got to be a really cool design. It's got to be something that they care about. Luckily, you have something that they care about, and that's your brand. And that's, you are going to find 30 to 50 people who are going to give enough of a fuck to do this. So if you go, you know what, step one, I don't want to make any money, and I don't want to lose any money, maybe a really good idea is to get somebody to design a really cool t-shirt and then go to a place that prints on demand and gets and sends the whole thing out. And they do the whole thing. Test the water. Maybe that would be a really good first step to do. Because, oh no, here comes a rant. Risk is good, but the problem is we are increasingly living in a world where you can't risk. Where the socioeconomics of everybody who normally supports rock and roll is dwindling. I read a wonderful thing the other day and I laughed so hard when I read it. Yes, I see your hands, I'll get to it. Where somebody said, you can talk to me about makeup. Talk to me about lipstick. You think vinyl's hard? Let's talk about makeup. Anyway, I used to run a makeup company. And they said it's so hard for bands to sell out to now because no one's buying. And I thought, yeah, that's really true. It's really true that, those within our scene, I'm sorry, am I ranting right now? Within our scene, within our cultures, there used to be those people, especially us, because we're a bunch of geeks. And nerds equate to a higher income bracket and a higher, because they don't have children and they have a cat. They have a higher expenditure. But that's not the case anymore because things are changing. I'm sorry, is this depressing? Shit's changing. We're going through a really big change. Luckily, like I said, it's not just a brand these people care about, it's you. Because they're seeing your post and you are growing and this shit's working. So you know what? Maybe the first thing you should do is come up with a really good design and go, see what happens. Send it to an on-demand printing place. And even an international one that can sell stuff to the USA as well, because people in the US are reading you. Thank you, MTV TV. So does anybody else want to throw in there? Anybody got a shit cupcake with a cherry on top? Ivan, I see your hand go. Ivan, you're muted. You're still muted. No, it's just that I can't hear. Talk to me. Come close and talk to me. I can't hear you. I hear something scratching in the background. Maybe they're the cockroaches in my head. I still can't hear you. I know, I can't hear you. All right, I'm gonna throw to Julius while you're figuring it out. Or we're gonna try. No, all right. I'm gonna throw back to you, Julius. Tell me you hate me.
I love you.
Aww.
Thank you for this shit cupcake with the cherry on top. I really appreciate it. Problem is, I really got trust issues, and would be super hard for me to trust other people or other acts or other bands with this kind of stuff. But yeah, who knows what kind of people I'm going to meet in the future and build relationships and whatever. So another thing about merch, you were talking about CDs. We have talked about CDs a lot on here. Oh,
Ivan, I got you. Hold on, I'm going to let Julius finish, then I'm going to throw to you. Sorry, Julius, go on.
Okay, and Carl, I remember you giving out USB sticks in the past. I was thinking to do the same, because here in Germany, as soon as you start producing CDs, you need an extra registration for it, GEMA. And I wanted to kind of trick the government by giving out USB sticks. What are your thoughts on that?
All right. I'm going to talk to you about USB sticks in just a second, and because I mentioned this in the video in the Bluefest, but before I do it, I'm going to throw back to Ivan. Ivan, ask me your damn question, or give me your damn wisdom.
I had some thoughts. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I will always reiterate on this one. Martin Atkin's books are completely worth reading, because he's a guy that has a master's understanding and brings all of the wisdom on merch. All of it. Any interview you get a chance to see with him, or anytime he's out doing a talk, just go witness the sermon, because he gets it. But a few things. The just-in-time T-shirt services that you're going to find online, they're printing to what I would describe as, at best, crap cotton, and they're going to want to use dye stuff, which is going to wash out after five wearings. And if you're lucky, it's not half made out of plastic and results in everybody being sweaty. But it's great because just in time, you don't have to go and buy 400 of these and hope to get rid of them someday. So that's a level of merch. It's not the same level as merch as you want at your shows. And yeah, I know right now, nobody's playing live shows, or practically not, because it's dangerous, difficult, and horrible. But there will come a point where it gets easier again to, if there's any place left to play. But keep that in mind. But once when there are places to play at again, and the ability to go, and you can get your 10 best friends into that room to actually see your live show, I would suggest then then it would be time to bust out the good T-shirts, the stuff made on the heavy cotton, with the with the good screen prints, because you're not gonna sell as many of them, but you've just made getting to the show a thing that's special. because now you have access to a thing that you can't otherwise get. You can't get those by ordering them online. You have to go to the show. It's a little marketingism on my part. Fellow youths, it gives people a reason to actually get to a show, which I think is probably valuable. Also, like here in Milwaukee, we're really lucky. Our makerspace is fantastic. I mean, if I need to get if I need to do a bunch of 3D printing, I can do it. If I need to laser etch stuff, I can do that. If I need to use the wood shop, if they've got that. If I need a machine shop, they machine shop. With like Tormax and 3D milling and the whole deal. They've got that. Also, if I need to screen print something, not only do they have that, they have people that know how to train you to use it really well. And so, if you've got a good makerspace, going and screen printing 30 shirts up would be, an hour.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Was there anything else you wanted to add there, or can I throw it back to Julius?
Oh, send that back to Julius.
All right. There's a whole bunch of really excellent stuff in there. Plus, makerspaces, you are going to be around people who are really good at what they do, and you are going to be absorbing energy. And with makers comes the mindset of makers, and it's a great mindset. Okay, so USB pills. You fucking have to fucking pay Gemma. Really? You have to pay them a licensing for your own CDs?
Yes.
What a pile of fucking bullshit. It'll be probably the same here soon too. Go ahead.
I think legally you don't have to if everything is owned by you, but the presses won't press for you unless you have, because they're worried that you do bootlegs and do something illegal, so they won't let you. But if you would have your own pressing facility, you would be legally allowed, I think. Just if it's not registered under GEMA.
Okay.
As far as I know, this is not legal advice. Blah blah blah.
Double check this, because this is really interesting to you have to in the United States when you're printing CDs, you have to tick a box. Yeah, I know. You have to tick a box. That's not freedom. That's not freedom. Because I have to tick a box saying this is mine. I ain't stealing that. Because the great thing about America is that you can lie, cheat, and steal. Yeah, all right. No one's going to disagree with me on that one? Okay, sure.
It's true. Although you do have to make sure you disclose it to the IRS.
Right, exactly. You can lie, cheat, and steal to everyone else except... okay, thank you, Mark. So I fucking can't believe... Yeah, double check that research because it could be some bullshit, but knowing Gemma, it probably isn't. Man, I have Gemma fucking stories. I got my USB pills keys made in China. If you get them in America, they're also made in China. So it doesn't matter where they're made. It can be America or Germany. They're all made in China. So you're going to have to talk to a place called Alibaba. And Alibaba.com is going... Yeah, we know about Alibaba. Actually, all my experiences on Alibaba have been fantastic. I've sent them huge quantities of money, and they have always sent me huge quantities of merch, and I have missed out on no import duty. I don't really do a lot of crazy silicon band stuff anymore because increasingly I have a environmental I'm aware of my environmental footprint, and I'm not sure of the conditions that this shit's being made in, but I'm not sure of the conditions that my CDs and my USB pills and my shirts and every single thing I do is being made in. And increasingly, I'm absolutely aware of the conditions that people are wearing these in the good old United States and America as everything is pushed into the underclass. Whoa, political there, Carl. Why? So Alibaba.com is where you're going to go to send me an email and I will try and find the people that did my USB keys, and they will do the same for you. I had 2 sets of USB keys. The first set, there was a percentage that were problematic. The second set, they were A-OK. And they can even screen print onto them. As I mentioned in those videos, remember, you have to sell them. And they might last you 10 years. But it's still an 8 gigabyte key is great. I did mine 10 years ago. And having an 8 gigabyte key is totally still okay. So, if it's just got your name on it, then, yeah, sure. But you're looking at a minimum of 500 to 1,000. Yeah. But what's funny is that in the US, you can get a minimum of about 50 to 100, and I found that printing 500 in China was slightly more than printing 100 in the US, knowing that the US went back to China anyway. Butter. Did that make any sense? Yeah. Wow, we are in such an interesting time. Like, you know, I think what Martin Atkins says is really interesting. I actually went on tour with a band that he destroyed in his book. And I went, yes. Yes, some of the things he says are absolutely correct. About that band. But it's really interesting that he was from a different generation. And although I'm going to be really interested to see what he's talking about now, because increasingly consumable merch in your hand is becoming something harder and harder to get, ascertain, data. Because like, hey man, you're going to do free shipping? Well, great. It's funny that in that video, if I may, it used to cost me $1.90 or something to ship a CD via USPS first class mail. But now I can't do that. It's got to be media mail. Because if I sell something that if I sell something via Etsy needs to see some kind of tracking in there, and first class doesn't have the tracking, and priority is actually more than so now shipping's $4. So I can't really do free shipping on a lot of things anymore because that was my profit. But anyway, so my thoughts on is, yeah, dude, totally do it. Just know that increasingly things are going digital. And, know that also the amount of music that is being consumed via streamables online is drastically moving across from people. It used to be people buy CDs, then it was people buy MP3s, then it was people steal MP3s, now it's people stream MP3s, people streaming music, and that population is growing. There was a really brief conversation before I came on. We went about we went live about streaming versus having MP3s on your computer. But I'm telling you, I believe the market is well and truly heading into streaming that shit via Spotify and those big bad wolves. That didn't answer your question as well. Email me and I will look for you. But you got to email me, and it might take me a while. I'm so sorry. I'm knee deep in Opera right now. Was there another question that you wanted to ask me that would somehow... Let's go. I see your hand, everybody else.
Yeah, question to you, Carl. When the USB sticks came in, did you put all the data on them yourself?
Yes, I did.
You did it?
Yeah. I was actually going to be doing it separately. I was going to get them to do it, but then I realized it's going to take me 2 to 5 years, 10 years to sell all this stuff. So that the catalog is changing. And plus another thing I did is I said, okay, well, you can buy the Angelspit album for $8. Step one, buy the USB stick, which I think was $20, and that's going to come preloaded with the new album. Yay! Now for $8 you can load up. Boom, 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 boom. And on it also comes like tour photos and posters and all of this other shit as well. And some people, they went way over 8 gigs, so I just said, here, have a second fucking USB stick. So in answer to the question, I was the one loading everything on. And I actually still have a folder which is every album ready to go onto USB sticks, and I still do it. Like, I haven't done it for like 3 albums, and I still have those 3 albums are also in the USB stick catalog. There you go. I don't know if I'll ever do it again, or do it in the near future, just because of shipping shit internationally, blah 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 blah. And you know, I was briefly talking about how everything is going to digital, and of course our first thing is, oh, our heart sinks and oh, shit's going digital. But the thing to remember is it doesn't cost you any fucking money. It doesn't cost you any fucking money, and you don't have to ship things out. You just sit there on your yacht eating pizza with Duran Duran while they film Rio. That's what you do. And then they're going to go offshore for a day or 2 while they shoot Hungry like the Wolf. But you stay on the yacht eating pizza. That's what it is being in the digital age as an artist. Oh, $30 a year for distro. Do you know how much it costs me to print fucking CDs? Yeah. But anyway. So, somebody else, did that answer the question? Like, and also remember the thing about t-shirts and fashions and stuff is that increasingly the metaverse, if I say metaverse in a word like metaverse, don't be offended. Don't get on your high horse and go, oh, Carl. No, get offended, because fuck the metaverse. Remember, in the metaverse now there's fashion and it sucks, so you can buy fashion from other places. Increasingly in the metaverse, you can, that happens because I deep throat from sucking its cock. Did I just say that? Okay, man, I had a really good post on my Facebook the other day. I don't know if you read it. Oh, it was an interesting one. Not really many people got what I was trying to say, though. But anyway, the metaverse. You can now buy fashion, and I have a very good friend who is working in the field of designing digital fashion for people to wear when they're doing their virtual thing, playing virtual golf, or on their virtual yacht with virtual Duran Duran. Alex, top that.
Quick question. Can you limit the how much you have in merch on Bandcamp and Etsy?
Can you limit it? No, you can have as much shit as you want.
No, but can you?
Oh yeah, sure. You can say okay, there's only 30. I'm going to offer only 10 CDs in a special box and something else special. Of this T-shirt, well, in the smalls there's 5, in the mediums there's 10, in the large there's 10, in the extra large there's 7, in the 2XL there's 5, and in the 3XL there's 3. And that was a pretty accurate rundown of the T-shirts you're going to want as well. You can limit stock numbers and all that jazz.
So I have a plan. Unfortunately, I'm not far enough with the music to go for it, but my plan would be the following. I would make T-shirts, maybe 10, a really low number. Maybe I'll make it a craft project and maybe make something cool out of it, sell it. If I think you can say it will ship in a month or 2, so I will do that. And if there's really high demand, I may increase that. But probably because I'm just someone starting out, it won't be. And yeah, and I think I would just have these 10 T-shirts in my band store and use this to check how high my demand is, because I think for me it won't be big at the beginning, because only like hardcore fans buy merch. Please.
Yeah, this is actually a really good idea, and this is actually something I bring up in the fucking video things that I do, is that the best way to feel out the market is to do a Kickstarter or an Indigo campaign, where you run it for a month or something, and at the end of that time, not only do you have the exact amount of things that you need to make, but you have their T-shirt sizes as well. And if the minimum run of T-shirts is 30, and you only sell 25 T-shirts, then you go, well, I'm going to use maths, and I know that if the most T-shirts I sold were medium men's, And then the second one was large men's. I'm going to get 3 more mediums and 2 more large, and there's my 30 t-shirts. And remember to keep one for yourself. And that's the great thing about campaigns, social campaigns. What are they called? Campaigns, champagne campaigns, campaigns for my real friends, real pain for my cam friends.
Crowdfunding campaign.
Thank you. That's the great thing about them, is that you can you can gauge what's going on. And I think a lot of bands go, "Oh, I'm too small. No one gives a shit." But just set it at $500 or $1,000 and say I'm selling t-shirts and MP3 downloads, which you'll then sell via the Bandcamp distribution thing. And the MP3s for you are a special version of the MP3s. Maybe they have something exclusive information on it. Man, I wish I listened to my own advice. Does that work? But don't get too crazy. Don't go, "Oh, I'm going to do voice answering things." Don't do that. And you're going to come up with all these really cool ideas. Just, if you can't mass produce it, my advice is don't do it.
Yeah. And what I would do is also limit it to an amount that I can fulfill myself.
Yes.
Because like I can't do 1,000 t-shirts, but I can do 10. I can do 30.
Yes. If I may. So here's an interesting thing, is that if you do that, and I'll be quick. I won't be quick. I'm going to start talking about dumb shit any second now. Now, if you end up doing that, you're going down the road of distribution. And for you to get distribution, what you need is a whole bunch of boxes. What you need is a scales to measure the stuff on, and some masking tape. And you might also need software that's free that will allow you to print out the labels for the postage that's got the name, address, and the postage is already paid for. So now you are well and truly on your way to becoming a distro guy. All you need then is space to do it from. And I have those shelves there. Don't laugh at me, Diana. I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Those shelves behind me, the top part and the bottom part holds the merch, and the middle part is a working area. So the whole thing is there. If you're crazy enough to do that, because I'll just leave that there. But I gotta warn you, man, distros it's this bug. It's this, I want to run a distro. It's this cool thing that if it was the 90s and I was listening to Skinny Puppy on my cassette deck, and I've just got to watch something really, Star Trek's on my VHS or something, and I've just saved up enough money to buy an EPS 16 Plus, because it's the 90s, and I want to run a distro too and do zines. Not making any sense right now, am I? Maybe that's a dream that only some of us are tortured by. Was there another question you wanted to ask me, or would you like to hit me with a wet fish?
I wanted to continue, and since you brought up, sorry.
No, it's fine. Keep going.
And since you brought up tapes, I think they're great if you just want to release your music. When you just do a small amount, again maybe 10, maybe 20, and just record them yourself. But it has to be like amount you can manage, and you can get like a $40 tape deck from wherever. And I think if you just keep it small, it's very manageable.
I think that's a great idea. Can I just start shooting my mouth off about tapes? I did research on printing tapes, and if you want to get it printed somewhere else, it ain't cheap. I don't know why it's not cheap, but it's way more expensive than pressing CDs, but there's a much lower minimum. I don't know why that is. Yes, printing tapes is fun if you can find a good double deck tape thing, because the Liar, who does all the video stuff, they got this video replication rig to replicate VHS tapes. They'll do 10, 20 at a time or something. Cost them like $200. Works fine. Got it off eBay. I don't know the strength of the tape deck market. I don't know the strength of that market. Oh, it's coming back again. Maybe. I don't know. They look cool, and there are some very cool things you can do with the little fold-out J cards. So, maybe that's a thing. And if you want to do something real cool, put binary on it. That is like information for a Commodore 64 or something. I don't know how.
Or a Volca sample.
Or a what?
A Volca sample. They're like these small rhythm groove boxes.
Do they record onto tape?
They record into audio, and since it's audio, you can also use tape.
Really? I didn't know that. There you go.
Yeah,
That's great.
If you own samples onto the thing, you have to have an app on your phone, and it turns it into audio, which then is like input for the device, and then you have your own samples.
All right. I didn't know that. Thank you for that. And Mark, I think we're showing up his Volca. That's your Volca? Look at that. You painted it. That's great. Or is that how it came?
I did not paint it. It was cheaper than the other ones. It's an OK Go official one.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds great.
OK Game. It was some band. I've never. I think I've heard some of the music. It's okay, but
okay, go.
It was cheap.
And they've got quite a punch to them as well. So anyway, I'm going to throw this to Grim, who's been patiently waiting. Grim!
I would second the notion that I think the T-shirts could be a good gig when you're doing a live set, however that occurs, or if you're just doing a live event. I would follow that with, explore what's in your area and see if there's just a general, I don't know, even something as weird as like an arts and crafts fair or some kind of get together. You might be able to land a table just because they want vendors. And sometimes there is no fee, depends on the site, depends on the venue, but you might be able to land a table there. And that's not all too different from people just making their art or their crafts or their paintings. And I mean, you could have a full on table and they're like, well, what's that all about? Well, I have a project. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Here's my 30-second pitch. And yeah, if you're shipping stuff, I would try to go on the lighter side of the house, do the USB deal, do stickers with QR codes or Spotify dots, just simple shit that you can send out in mailers, little bubble mailers, and go. So that's just my thought process. But yeah, I think I second the notion that the T-shirt is a fuck yes thing when somebody's actually at your gig and you could put it up on a rack mount display and have it behind you at a booth, and kind of go that route.
Yeah. Excellent advice, man. Thank you. Razzie, what do you got?
I think that on the discussion of T-shirts, quality is really important. We kind of glossed over that about what we're expecting from places like Teespring. And just to set the record straight about what we're talking about, DieSub is a two-part transfer thing that they don't actually do, but the buzzword is direct to garment, and it's just inkjet onto the shirts. And that's got a very flat, smooth look, and it can be really graphically cool, and it might be what you're after. But historically, the real money is, well, I mean, he started in the 70s with the heat transfer ones where he put sparkles behind them, and they were like a single, like maybe die-cut shape that was placed on the front of the thing, Rolling Stones logo or like Ozzy or something. And those they'll crack eventually, of course, and they'll fade, but they're a very thick thing applied to the T-shirt, so the garment has to be strong to even hold them up. Then after that, they were doing what we were talking about, screen printing, which is still, for most measurements, the like gold standard for a high quality band shirt, where the ink is placed on top of the fabric and it's done mechanically or by hand, but it's actually squeegeed on and it's raised and it has a texture and a profile and some durability. And if you don't put it on too thick, they can be very long lasting, but they also crack a little bit, which brings the advantage, if there is any, to the direct to garment, where they will fade, but they're infused into the fabric. So it's got a really flat, non-cracking sort of look. And I don't know if talked about embroidery, but that is another awesome way to get images onto garments, maybe outside of the scope of things. But the main thing was to just we're talking about direct to garment, not actually dye sub.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Julius, I see your hand.
Yeah, thank you everyone for your recommendations. Another question for you, Carl, or better, what I wanted to do with the USB sticks is just buy some really cheap no-name ones, not the printed ones you were talking about, but like any USB sticks, like 15 or 20 of them, and put them into kind of a ring box. There are special boxes for USBs which showed USB sticks inside. Just put a sticker on it, like Brandschatz's, this and that album, cool album artwork, blah, and sell this. What do you think about it? Is my first question. Second question to you, Carl. Could I possibly come across any technical difficulties while putting the data on the sticks? Is there anything I need to take care of?
I think that's a really great idea, and it's a fun idea. And if you could get yourself a whole bunch in bulk that are the same USB stick, it's going to make actually photographing it for the website easier, because they want to say this is what it looks like. But you might also want to go through and mangle it up. And I don't mean with a hammer. I mean you might want to stick stuff on it like decoupage or diamonds or, diamantes or something. I don't know. Something fun. Eyelashes. That'd be creepy. Weird things like that. There should be no trouble putting thingies on the data stick, because I think they actually all came from the same alien queen mother. They come out of little eggs. People don't know this. And then they run across the floor and they face hug your computer. Yep. And that's Judgment Day. Did that answer your question? Kinda? I did. I did. Good. Alex?
So if you want to do us Mac and Linux users a favor, format them not as NTSF, but as exFAT. Because NTSF is really annoying to read on Macs, and I think also Linux systems, but I'm not sure.
Excellent. Cool. That was brilliant. Does anybody else want to throw something in or change the subject up, and suddenly a million hands go up? Mark, I see your hand.
Hey, I just want to throw a quick nerdy thing. As far as the formatting goes, if you get the size below, I think it's like 32 gigs, which most USB sticks probably are going to be for your usage, you can just use FAT32. That works with everything. Absolutely everything.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good to know, man. That's important. Thank you. Alex.
So if I were to dream, I think what would be really cool to have is like a place where you could buy fashion, buy band shirts, and buy CDs. But I think it would be hard to make such a place. But if anyone wants to and listens to this, please do.
See, this is... All right. It's such a great idea to say, here's a crazy idea. Throwing it out there. Let's say a couple of bands in town got together and formed a collective. Like in the 90s, when we were listening to Sonic Youth and Henry Rollins, and we were actually angry. Not at each other, but our anger was focused. So let's say that we have a collective of 4 or 5 bands, and what somebody in those bands does, and we're paying that person, they will go to every band show. They will go to every gig, and they're going to take a little stall with them, and they're going to be selling the local CDs and the local T-shirts from within the collective, and they will be pushing those bands. And when those bands play, they're probably going to play together. They are probably going to release stuff together and help each other out with stuff. And therein is called a collective, or a co-op. And what's going to be happening is because people are working together, and this sounds really rudimentary 101, but it's got to be done. And I think it's important for this sort of thing to happen locally. I mean, even if it's this city and this city, that's great. That's an excuse for you guys to be bouncing between cities. That you will get something like that. And then you're going to find somebody who's insane enough to say, well, I'll start doing online. I'll sell this shit online. The problem is that the market is changing, but that market's always going to be changing. Like, find a zine fair and take some of the, there's got to be zines or something. Take CDs to the zine fair. That's okay. Find one of the CD exchanges and turn up there with everyone's CDs. And be really proud about, oh, these are local bands. Like in the olden days when we had local bands. This is also called a record label, but it's a decentralized record label. And it's, you know, everyone might put their CDs together and sell a CD together and fucking go in with the advertising and the pressing and all of this sort of stuff. You know, we were doing that in Australia with Crash Frequency and Primary Darkwave. And bands from those collectives traveled so far. You know, Josh on 4ZZZ, he, you know, Primary Darkwave was one of the reasons he started. You know, I remember with Primary Darkwave and with Crash Frequency, we were getting to the point where we were getting lawyers joining and we were getting publicity people joining to help the bands out. You know, it wasn't just, you know, it was the 90s, man. You didn't need a record label anymore. You're not going to get your stuff in the shops, but we could if you got a distribution deal. So bands started getting distribution deals and they start popping up in shops. You didn't really get a lot of money for it, but you were there. Sure, there's not really shops anymore, but we're in a time of transition, and you know I can get really depressed about it and how shit used to be so much better and all that dumb shit. But the fact of the matter is we are going to go into a period which is going to be fantastic. You just got to forge ahead. You got to keep doing it. All of this shit and everything, you've got to turn it into art and into angry fucking music. And you can't be afraid of what people are going to say about it, and you cannot edit yourself before you say it. I made a post on Facebook this week about how my concern is that increasingly people are editing their artistic flow before it even gets out. And I think that was the point that I was trying to say, and so many people, like, I got like 130 people commenting on it. Some were very angry. That they weren't hearing what the problem is. And I don't want to go into the problem. I want to talk about the problem here. That you can't say, oh, I can't say that because it's going to offend this group. Is it? Fuck, you don't know. Just take the art. You know, this is the thing, is that maybe great art isn't being created by too many people anymore because we're not letting it be created. Art has a mind of its own. It has this higher fucking thing that you're vaguely tuned into, and it's leading you around if you are blessed enough to have it do that. Because I know the thing about electronic music, a lot of us are real control freaks, but there comes a point where you got to let that go, and you've got to try and find the zeitgeist and let the zeitgeist speak through you. And so often we're censoring the zeitgeist because it's like, oh, I can't do that, I can't say that. Take it or leave it. Whatever. Ivan, blow my mind. Go.
Okay, things are changing, and maybe sometimes for the better. Quite often not. But I don't know if you saw the good news. In Chicago, there's a Wax Trax office again. You know, we're back to that. We got that back. We didn't lose it for once. But hopefully it stays this way. It's for a while. You know.
I wonder if that'll be WT3.
Also, that because of like, oh man, you know, like this was months ago now. Me and a friend of mine started working on you know, the record label app, And one of the things that we were trying desperately to get shoved into it is the ability for other creative, like all that creative tangential stuff, along with the band, like graphic artists, video guys, merch people, lawyers, all of those things that bands depend on, would have to, you want them to have the ability to register to the app as well, so that you're a band, you now need a lawyer. You can just go to the like the community lawyer shop and find a lawyer and set up a relationship. Because we want to make like, because essentially all the stuff that an A&R guy would do for a band, if you had a lot of funding and a big ass label, we want to make that available to anybody that's willing to pay $5 a month.
Yeah.
Just make it easy.
Luckily, in California, there is a Californian Arts Law something, and they do something like that where it's a yearly fee, and you'll just have lawyers that you can go to, and the yearly fee is like $50 a year, or something insane. It's obscene. And you will have to pay, but you're not paying hundreds of dollars an hour. You're only paying $30 or $40 an hour.
Bingo.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm all about this stuff. I'm all about it because right now we have to strap our bodies together to survive this deluge because it's flooding out there, guys. Alex, I see your hand.
I don't have much to say, but two things. First of all, I think distribution has become sort of weird. There's this electronic music artist I like called Bambi OFS, and I think he's relatively small. He has a release on a label, but I don't think they released more than 200 LPs on vinyl. But his stuff came up on one of Germany's biggest electronics retailers' website. And I have no idea how to do it, but somehow they do it. So there must be some way to get your stuff into... No, I think that there's like a level of like where people order from each other, and there must be some way to get your stuff into their
catalog.
Because also Death Grips releases are sometimes in like grocery chain inventories here in Germany, like their online shops, and there must be some mechanism how this functions, but I have no idea. I mean, I think Death Grips was at one point signed to a major label, so that might be more understandable. But still, there's some sort of mechanism where stuff gets like distributed, and I have no idea how they do it. And second of all, this collector thing really worked out for PC music. I think their artists, they started up from almost nothing, and their artists ended up being in the charge. I mean, they make pop, but still they got there.
That's a lot to do with your label and your label's clout to be able to pull you into places like that of distribution, which is a really good thing about having a label. But the thing about it is you're paying for that, and you're like, if there's advertising and everything else, you're paying for it, not the label. You're paying for it, and that's coming out of your sales and out of your recoupables. So it's yeah, but if you do things right, you can probably start paying your rent with your strange industrial music if you do it right. And that means you're going to be figuring out a whole bunch of shit by yourself, and that means that you're going to be making a whole bunch of mistakes, and that means that it's going to be okay. You just gotta keep going, bit at a time. I'm trying to be encouraging. I know it's such a shit time right now, but it's just keep going. Because I'm telling you, man, I feel like we're all fucking around on this mountain, and under the mountain is gold. And each piece of gold isn't for, oh, it's gold. It's like it's knowledge. And as soon as you figure out, you tell someone else, and then they find a thing, and it builds. I'm prattling now. Grim.
Hey, so if we haven't arrived at this yet, I would suggest if there are Halloween events coming up, which there's bound to be a shitload, and they're actually doing events outside, I would say try to get a hold of the event coordinators and see if you can't land a table there. You know, you might be able to land a table for next to nothing, or maybe even free, just because they want to fill out their vendor walk and their line. And again, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I mean, you could bring your business cards, you could bring shit like the dot cards that people can scan to where they can find all your social media. You know what I mean? Like, strategize as best you can, and you don't have to bring an avalanche of merch, but you could be like, these are my cards, this is my thing, this is my project, this is my banner. And in tandem with that, most of your photography kits are more and more, they're getting on the cheap side. So you could find yourself one of the little kit rig dealios, like this guy here, you know, that's got the telescoping lift, like a 3-piece photography kit. Or you could find yourself just like a closet organizer with extendable rails and cubbies, because who gives a shit what you hang your banner on as long as it's up, you know? But all that being said, I mean, just to think outside the box thing, it may not be your best yield, but it's still an opportunity to get your project out there and show people what you're all about. And, you know, hell, you might have some freebies, but that might help a groundswell to get people to discover your music, and by extension, maybe buy your tracks on Bandcamp and SoundCloud and the whole nine. But it could be something as simple as, like I said, those business cards or something to scan, and just, you know, because you'll find a lot of like-minded people in the Halloween horror scene, you know, obviously, because it just fits right in there, you know, with everything that people are doing. I mean, I think that'd be a good opportunity from now until like the end of the season. And some of the haunt events will run even up until November 1st, November 2nd. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit of it, you know, finally tapers off then. So just a thought.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Does anybody else want to throw in on this? This is such a good really good conversation that's going on here. Razzie, you had some questions. Did you want to throw some of them in?
Yeah, maybe we can jump into Spotify Payola. I don't know if that's going to spawn conversation or anything, but I just started sort of looking at who was curating the playlists that I'm subscribed to, reaching out to them on wherever they seem to make themselves available, and all of the stuff that I read about pay for play and pay for placement, aside from the services that stand between you as an artist and them as a playlister taking a fee or points for the service of having your music presented, to skirt around the very strict and clear rule that you can't charge to have playlist placements on Spotify. By their rules, it's just not allowed. Has anybody thoughts, first of all, on the practice of historic payola as brought to the modern age through Spotify playlist curators? And maybe does anybody have direct experiences with deciding to or not to do that sort of thing, either through the services that present your tracks or through direct interactions with the curators themselves?
This is brilliant. Thank you, man. Alex, I see your hand. I'm going to go after you.
I have a further question. How do Spotify playlists work? Can everyone make one?
There's two major kinds. Yes, anybody can make one. You can just share it. And then there's the editorial ones, which when you put your track up, you'll automatically get a single pitch to per track to present it to the Spotify editorial staff. And there are other categories like that the labels have with them, and some customized algorithmic playlisting and stuff like that. But yes, your playlist could be the next 10, 15,000, 100,000 follower thing, and then you can start charging people to have placements on it against Spotify's rules. That's the theory.
How do people find them?
Well, one way they can find it is by looking in their in the chat right now. There's a whole bunch of bands you need to know about right now on Spotify. Here's a link to them, and many of those bands are here. And what those bands need to do is share this link, because I've been pimping the shit out of this. I need you to pimp it as well.
Put that on your featured spot on your artist page.
There you go.
Maximum impact.
There you go. That's a great idea. That is a really good idea. And that way we're all helping each other out. Now, I interrupted you, Alex. That's how you do it. And then you bug everybody on social media and everything else all the time with this shit. And I'm telling you, it works. People click on it.
I also suspect one of the important ways, like in truth, how do they do it? I think there's a lot of hiring bots to make your follower count go up and your playlist count go up. That's how if you're unscrupulous, you could make a playlist, hire the bots, have a lot of followers and plays, sell that to unsuspecting artists taking advantage of their good nature and desperation, and then step 3 profit. So.
Although I know Spotify's radically trying to cut down on that, because that costs them money. So they don't want that happening. So I know they're cutting down on that. So there's a thing called Boost, which Spotify, I don't know if they have it or whatever. Plus there's another one. I've looked at them, and it's like, I am not paying that much money for 500 plays. And 500, fuck off. And it's like in the hundreds. Me personally, I am so burnt, worn out by, that's why saying, here, give me $500 and I'll send you your shit to my DJs, and they might play it. So I don't fucking charge for the thing I do, because it's like, that's not right. I can't, I don't really have the money, and I just don't know if I don't know. I just keep fucking bugging the shit out of people. Like, I've got the Angelspit sleazy tracks, electronic tracks, industrial rock tracks. Each of these are a different playlist, and I will slowly rotate through these things. Here are the latest cool Angelspit tracks that aren't the top 5 tracks, that are another 5 tracks that I'm trying to push up, and it's worked. So I don't know what to do. Once again, it's the only suggestion I would make to do is to band together and to fucking jump on the Spotify list that we have here, the Art of Rock Spotify list, and promote it, and make sure you have one track on it, and that track is fucking devastating. Because if it's not, you're gonna fuck it up for everyone else. Sorry. You need it to be the best fucking track you have. I feel like such a bastard for saying that, but that's the truth. Julius, I see your hand.
Yeah, no pressure here. Anyways, I had an almost experience with curated playlists. It was when I released my last single in May, and I had a price list from this online music magazine, like for $10 you get a mention on social media, for $20 you get the mention on social media plus a placement on our playlist, blah blah. And I was considering the placement on the playlist, but I didn't do it because in my case this online music magazine was genre-wise all over the place. It just was I totally fell out of the scheme, so I didn't do it. But next time, if I find a different online music magazine which covers my genre, I would probably give it a shot. If it's only $20, why not?
I know Sound and Shadows are setting up playlists, and I really think that their Spotify playlists, or Bandcamp playlists, I really think that one of the, there is this incredible online non-stop streaming 24-hour show, and it just never, and it's amazing, and it's called MTV TV. Boom. Oh look, hold on, I'm gonna try that again. Boom. And obviously put your tracks on that, and obviously it works because people are watching it, and it's a good thing. I also think that perhaps MTV TV should contemplate the concept of setting up a Spotify playlist, because they're free, or one of us should do it for them, because those guys well and truly have enough bloody stuff on their plate. Like the new Wednesday o'clock stuff. I think but I don't want to push you guys, because you guys are like doing the work of 10 people. You do have a Spotify. Yeah, do it. Do it. Excellent. They are building a playlist. Great. Do it. That's it. That's all I want to say. Alex.
Yeah, I think with payola you have to really watch out. Because I think there are like so many places that just take the money and do nothing, or hardly anything. And I had a second point that I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, and the thing is that there's a pile, and they throw your name on the pile, and that's it. They don't push it, they don't promote it, they don't do anything. And the objective of the exercise is, I'm this big. This is how big I am. You're this big. And it's going to cost me $100, really $1,000. But they're not going to push it. They're not going to actively push it. If you want that, it's going to cost 10 grand. I absolutely believe in a bunch of people getting together and being absolute pains in the ass and smashing their social media over the head every day saying, go listen to this shit. Go listen to this shit. I really believe in that. Because I know that algorithm once, and I'm sorry, I'm not mocking any group of people, that it's just that the algorithm's cock has been down my throat so far, it's damaged my larynx. The algorithm's way of doing thing is that it's it looks for human interaction. Oh, wow, shit. Alex, I see your hand.
I've heard that Spotify now does video content.
Yes.
Does somebody know to what extent? Because I just heard it.
I don't know. I got that email from AWOL and DistroKid as well. I don't know.
Is it just music videos, or can you?
No, it's only music videos. Yeah, or it can be spoken word video. Anything that that Spotify are already doing. So it might even be podcasts. I don't know. Grim.
Hey, I would say in tandem with stuff, I mean, I don't know how complicated it might be to set up promo codes or discounts or whatever, but I'd say if you're running the discount, do the artist supporting artist thing, use discount code MTVTV for 10% off, use code fucking Grim for whatever, like more and more like people helping other people out. I get that there are times you want to focus and do your thing and everybody gets tunnel vision, but it should be people supporting people, and that'd be a pretty easy way, I think, to do it, other than sending each other stuff out, which should always be a thing, hey, give me some fucking stickers, man, and you could help distribute. But I think the promo code is a hell of a way to go, or you use promo code, Bronze Shots, and you can fucking download a free song, just whatever to that end, just to help support,
Yeah. That's really I want to come back to that. And Julius, I just noticed that you should get stickers sent and print them to send them to Diana. What you should also do is just get them printed in the United States and send half of them to Diana, half of them to me, because I still do orders. And if you send me stickers, I send those. And obviously, I don't charge for that. If you give me a sticker, they go out in orders. And when I'm around the time when I'm doing like a Kickstarter or something, I'm going to need at least 3. Because I buy 3 of everything, you know. Kickstarter.
That's doable.
Yeah, do it. And also be aware that what we have here is a collective. And I don't know who else is online right now. I'm not really looking at numbers or anything. But we have the beginnings. We have a collective here. We are sharing information. We are sharing encouragement. Each of us have something to bring to the table. You know, when we're talking about, like, Grim, that is such a great idea about, you know, if you use MTV TV as a discount code, you get 10% off, because not only are you enticing people to buy stuff, you're also helping push MTV TV. MTV TV could also be jumping on the thing as well, saying, go to these websites and use this promo code, da-da-da-da-da. That, I think with all of us, we need to be pushing, you know, I just feel we're tired. Can I rant for a second? So the dude that calls me in at 3 o'clock in the morning for opera, I have 3 maestros that I work under, and they're world class. These are amazing, amazing. And I call them maestros out of absolute respect, because they fucking write operas and they conduct operas. And one of them is a maestro who conducts main stage full-on operas, and he's genius. The guy is a genius. The other one is a maestro who conducts community operas, and there are thousands of people involved with these, and they're all done under the banner of LA Opera. And the guy, he's brilliant. And the other maestro is he does all the kids stuff, and the amount of organization, and I've got a real soft spot for the kids stuff, because for me it's all about empowering young people and educating young people. I've said this before, every time we do one of these shows, you know, to an audience full of kids, there are 2 or 3 kids that have got a look in their eye, and every one of us have had this look in our eye, which is, this is what I'm going to do. I did not understand the world of music existed like this, and this is what I'm going to do. And that's what I do. That's why I do this. And all these 3 maestros have an amazing ability to be calm. It doesn't matter what shit is on fire, they're calm. And I've seen these guys with shit on fire. Like, half the orchestra has COVID. Okay, let's figure this out. Like, although that hasn't happened, but shit like that. That they stay calm. And it was interesting that I was talking to one of these, like, endlessly fired, inspired, driven, gentle, calm maestros yesterday, and he said that he feels like he has completely run out of steam, and he feels like he is absolutely exhausted, and he feels like all the inspiration, because these guys are just wells of inspiration, and he feels like it's all gone. And after we did this like 7-hour session, I said, dude, you don't have to worry, it's still there. You might be exhausted, but it's still there. And I was saying to him that I really want to get my screen time down to 1 hour per day. And he went, 1 hour? And I went, yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed. And he goes, like, he was 4 hours a day. The national average is 4 or 5 hours a day or something now. It's just, my point is that and so many people around me, like these amazing pillars of unstoppable, these are the generals that lead the musical revolution, are exhausted. Deep inside them, they're exhausted. And this has only happened during the pandemic. That whether it's the bombardment of media, the people around us are dying, people are getting sick, they've all been sick, or it's seeing people just crumble in these little isolated things. There's a thing going on. something is wrong, and all of us are feeling, or so many of us are feeling, this new kind of exhaustion. And like when I say, okay, let's make sorry. See, that's my brain going,
Collective.
Thank you, collective, thank you. That my brain just goes, oh. But it's like, no, man, you got to do this. Like, we've got to keep pushing through. And even if it's us coming together and asking questions and getting depressed and shooting our mouth off, it's a start to the encouragement, to the repair, to the rebuilding, to the healing. Like, we've got to do this. And if you've got stickers, send them to me. And if you've got a new track that you want on the playlist, send it to me. Send me the Spotify URL, and I'll go through and I'll take off your old tracks, because this has been going for quite a while now, and it's like there are 3 or 4 singles represented from each person, which is good. So, there's that. Does anybody else want to ask a question that might actually result in a answer? Go.
This may be a weird one, but in terms of finding new clothing styles and fashion, do you guys have any way of experimenting or where to find cool stuff? Because I feel like I'm living in the same black jeans and band t-shirt for 15 years now.
I see Rezi. I would love to shoot my mouth off about this one. Go.
As someone wearing the same black t-shirt and jeans for the past 20 years, maybe I'm a little underqualified, but back at you with that. We have a thing here in the neighboring town to Boston, Cambridge, at the place called the Garment District, called Buck a Pound. And after the clubs, we used to go pretty much every week and just rummage through piles and piles of secondhand clothing of questionable cleanliness and interesting odors. And there'd be people there collecting for repurposing and for doing, actual work on the clothing to make new stuff. But man, I used to find skirts and dresses and fishnets and just interesting combinations of stuff that were inspirational for putting together into new outfits. It was a blast. Alas, I haven't been in quite some time.
How long ago was this?
Come
on!
I mean, it could be 20 years.
All
it
right.
could be more, but yeah.
So what you're saying is,
I still have a lot of it. I mean,
Right.
it's just,
since you stopped doing that, you then put on that jeans and t-shirt. Okay, thank you, man. That was really good. I want to swing around to that. Julius, who's the best person here, dressed person here all the time.
Yeah, I forgot my bow tie today, sorry. Anyways, took me a long time to find my actual style that I feel I can stick with. And I think there's high fashion goes very close to not low fashion, but second-hand fashion, because I think this fast fashion stuff is a no-go. I really try to avoid it, and maybe except for underwear and stuff when I really need some. I won't buy the ones from Versace. I will just go into the store and buy the ones for 10 euros. But for example, my favorite pants, I saved a long time until I was able to afford it. And but on the other hand, I have it for 5 years now, and it's very high quality. So you should be ready to invest quite an amount into fashion. And I can name some very cool fashion brands. I mean, it's all a matter of taste, of course. But I found them on the VGT festival, for example, Alex, in the booth halls. But I also found a lot on Instagram and what's this other thing, Pinterest. So you can just type in keywords like avant-garde fashion or industrial fashion, goth fashion, whatever. and see if you like anything, and maybe it gives you a brand name too.
Brilliant. Okay, so this is really a fun conversation because it's interesting. I just had this conversation with Michael Yale, who helps me on a lot of the fashion stuff that I do. He has a brand called House of Yale, and he is working as a wardrobe designer on a TV show that I can't mention because he won't tell me because he signed an NDA. But apparently it's very fucking well known, and the costumes are ridiculous. And him and I have challenged each other to start going out to clubs in Los Angeles, dressing, spending the whole day constructing a costume, then going to the club, like what we used to do 20 years ago. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. But build shit like that in a day. And we're really doing this for ourselves because, and I will come back to this question, Alex. I'm just skirting around it. Because we need to be kickstarted. Because both of us have had, once again, the problem is that we've been infected with this virus called I don't give a shit anymore. I don't know why. I've lost my enthusiasm. A lot of people have. And the way you beat that virus is by giving a shit, doing it, working, and motivation's going to come later, and inspiration's going to come later. Unfortunately, that's how your brain works. You've got to do it first, then you get motivated. Isn't that cruel? Then the inspiration comes later when those circuits are being enlightened, ideas start coming. My advice is to have fun. Do you go to clubs, Alex?
I try to.
Do you have a group of people or a friend or two who you go to clubs with?
I used to, but they all moved away, unfortunately.
Oh, fuck. So you don't have anybody within the club who you go to?
I have this one, maybe somewhere between acquaintance and friend, but we don't.
Okay. When I used to live in New York City, because if you're going to do this, you do it in New York, I used to do these things called destructo parties, where every Tuesday night, no, it wasn't Tuesday night because it was the Wolf Party, Monday night, everybody start me on the Wolf Party. Oh my God. Greatest party the world has ever, except Porn and Chicken in Chicago. Didn't I rant on this the other week? Porn and fucking chicken. My God. So what we used to do on a Monday night, or was it Wednesday? No, it was Monday night, is we'd turn up to my apartment in New York, bring something, and destroy it. And we would have pieces of paper and overhead OHP plastic, cut out stencils, do it all in one night, spray paint on the fire escape out the back because we were 7 floors up because it's New York, spray paint, glitter, fucking Anetta. Roseblood used to be a part of this crew, and they were the best fun. And we'd build this stupid, crazy fucking shit, wear it to the clubs, wear it on stage or not. And that was only 10 years ago. Then when I moved to, some of my best memories were Destructo parties. And I still have so much stuff here from fucking Destructo. Then when we moved to Chicago, I got involved with Scott from Poor Stars, and we would make the maddest shit. And there was a club up there called Porn and Chicken. And Porn and Chicken would have makeup themes, would have dress-up themes. And we would get insanely, overbearingly, insanely, stupidly dressed up. And we would spend a week making our costumes because we had been inspired by the New York club kids who would go to the absolute all-out, absolute decadence. And it was so exciting and fun and crazy to be covered in lights and with costumes that were like 6 foot across. Stupid shit. And so my advice is play with makeup. Get it wrong, look like a raccoon, don't give a fuck, because this is fucking goth industrial punk. Your job isn't to look. Your job is to scare people and have fun. That's your job here. You know, we cannot forget that. This is, one of the parents of this is horror, and horror is fun, and it's silly. get a pair of jeans, rivet or staple a long piece of material and wrap it around your legs. And then do it on the other side too. And if you've got belts, wear 10 belts. Wear 10 belts. And then get a couple of belts and put them around your chest somehow. And the base may be black or whatever. The thing about it is that what we used to do in the olden days when Rezi was, and me, and Ivan, and Diana, were going to clubs, we would spend the day... Oh, Jesus, did I just lose Alex? We would spend the day getting ready. And your friends would come over, and you'd get ready. And that 4 hours getting ready before the club was the best fucking time. And I want that back so dearly. I don't have that in Los Angeles because I live a million miles away from everybody, and everybody lives a million miles away from everybody else, and I don't drive, and da-da-da-da-da. But I need to do something about that. I need to find that part of me that enjoys not giving a fuck and being flamboyant. That's my thought on this matter. That the change comes from inside you. It's hard in LA because, you know, there are places you can go around here and you can very easily get shot. But I'll tell you something interesting. The punks are coming out. Like, I'm seeing punks. And I was talking to Michael, and he was somewhere, you know, he's in Glendale, and he goes, a murder of punks just went past. And I went, how many? He said, about 10. And they were fully decked out. Like, they were decked out punks. And then I was close to here in, like, one of my favorite areas called Boyle Heights, which is actually a real... I'll get back to it. And anyway, like, oh, go away. Hold on, I'm being hurled at here. A whole bunch of punks came out, like 20, and they float. They float like kind of like cockroaches, but they float, colorful, spiky cockroaches. And it was interesting, and I went, that one's a really cyber raver punk. That one's a traditional Ramones punk. That one's an England in the early 80s punk. His girlfriend is in England in the late 80s punk. Here's Alex. But they're starting to come out again. They're like, and they're getting dressed up. So my point was, I don't know how much of that. Did you miss much, Alex?
Yeah, but I think I'll have to watch the video on demand later.
All right. The moral of the story is have fun. And if you can, get people around to your apartment beforehand, like 4 hours or so beforehand, and start playing with your costumes. And, you know, a lot of people who run events, they want this. They want people coming to their events who look extravagant because it's going to make their event look cool. If you want to get inspired, research Harajuku Mall. Harajuku Mall in Tokyo is what started everything. And what those kids did with junk was amazing. Was absolutely amazing. I actually sell kits that have got a stencil, like a t-shirt design, but it's on a piece of material that you can a whole bunch of safety pins, a whole bunch of studs. And I took them offline because no one was buying them. They're like $10 each. It's a Destructo pack, and you can cut shit up and stick it places and hold material there with safety pins and, you know, have fun. Have fun. And too many belts is not enough belts. Get more studded belts. Yeah, have fun. As far as the actual look goes, have fun trying to figure out what it is. Maybe you're a really like rough punk look. Maybe you're a really sleek, well done black with lots of zippers. Maybe you're colorful. I don't know. But it's the same thing with makeup. Have fun. You have nothing to lose, and this is the best use of your time. And listen to music very loud while you do it, and have people there. And it will feed your music. My God, fashion feeds music beautifully. Ivan, I see your hand.
I cannot agree more thoroughly with the idea of get people together to get ready, turn that into a get ready party. And because there were so many times back in the 80s and 90s where, that 4 hours before going to the club was more fun than the club. The music was better, the drinks were better, the crowd was better, and it was just fun. And then you went out and maybe it wasn't as good as that 4 hours, but it was still really good. And you were out now. And Alex, there was a rule that I came up with back in the 80s, which was I'd go out and my goal for the night was to meet somebody I had never met before. I did that every week. Because I'd been a really isolated individual for my entire life. When I started going out, I wanted everything about that to be the opposite of my home life. And so, it didn't matter who they were. I just wanted to just meet somebody new and have a conversation and get to know them and find out what they were about. And it was awesome. I mean, it really, it helped me make me who I am today. And then Julius, I got to agree with you too. Back then I came up with certain rules about how I would look when I went out, and and those are the hard rules that I stick with today. I mean, you guys occasionally see me in t-shirts here because I wear them at home. I will not go out into in public with a printed t-shirt of any sort on these days because that's not who I am. I only own one pair of jeans. I use them for doing house projects. So I mean, they are pretty beat up as a result, which that'd be cool. But for going out, back in the day, I discovered, you spend the real money, spend the good money, you save up for the stuff that you're going to wear when you go out, and it's going to be made better quality. It's going to fit better. It's going to feel better, and get access to the higher quality materials. I have a surprising quantity of black silk pleated pants. Very comfortable to dance in. And I know, and learn how to tie a tie. Please, everybody, learn how to tie a tie.
Thank you. Two things. One, I had a friend who I've forgotten already. I had a friend who because I saw the link to the by the pound stuff. Who bought us stuff by the pound, and there were a bunch of jeans and shorts and stuff. So they cut out all the pockets and just lined their shoulders, lined the arms with pockets, like real bad stitch-on job, and it looks so cool. And Julius, Diana's got really good stickers. Sticker Mule is a good one, but Diana's gonna tell you. And something else you brought up with, Alex, you need a kilt. You need a black kilt with a whole bunch of, yes, you do, a whole bunch of pockets on it, and you need a fucking kilt because you would look badass in a kilt. Same with you, Julius. Yes, you would look deadly in a kilt. Black, get one of those really black, thick denim kilts, man. Oh, yeah, or a man skirt.
Utility kilt.
Yeah.
Man dress.
Yeah, you will look. Oh yeah, dude, I'm telling you, and you feel like a warrior when you wear that shit. You said something, Ivan, which is really important, and Razzie, I see your hand, and that was that the anything to make you feel different to the way you feel at home. And the problem that we have now is that this is my creative space. This is my work area. This is often where I sleep. So it's got really difficult to see that change between everything, and maybe that's part of the reason that you can't escape it, because you can't escape it and you're always in it. And
yes, and there's in ritual magic, there's a reason that you put on robes and you light the room with candles and you black out the windows and you change the decoration essentially, and it's because you make those changes to put yourself into still in the same physical place, but you're now in a different place. It changes you mentally. It prepares you for doing the thing. And I am rapidly, really coming to the conclusion that when it's time for me to like sit down and write some music, I should change my clothes. I should change the color of my lights just so that I'm more in the space where I'm doing that. I mean, when I get the third floor gets finished, the making music side of the room is going to be on the other side of the room, which hopefully will help with that. But we'll find out when I get up there.
Awesome. Graham.
I will say, I'll land on a point, but I will say a short Spark Notes version of Grim Life is filming what I could with who I could and where I was. And I got into a mindset of I'm going to pack down a backpack full of, shit to film, stuff to bring, things to write on, whatever. And then that eventually turned into a suitcase full of characters. But the point was, instead of, oh yeah, we're just gonna go to the house and hang out and maybe we'll get some filming done. It's not gonna fucking get done, or we're gonna film a fourth of what we want to do. But if I dedicated myself to the idea of fucking, I'm out for the day, I got everything I need in this suitcase and it's gonna roll with me, and we'd film at a park and we'd find cool shit and then we'd get awesome photos and just have a blast because we were dedicated to this is the thing. We drove or walked, 20 minutes to a half hour away from home base and just did the thing and had a fucking blast. And then you come back later and you're laughing your ass off about all the things that kind of naturally occurred in the course of doing that. So in tandem with taking the walk or breaking the routine or all the above, I'd recommend that, just bring a small backpack or a bag full of shit and just be like, home is later, Home is a few hours away, but right now I'm just going to go do the thing. I'm going elsewhere and I'm going to discover shit and do creative things and. But just try to shake that rhythm up to where you go, new mindset. I got to be away from this thing, and that could help inspire you to bring cool stuff home, and get content and edit and. Because home's gonna be there shy of a meteor strike or something. But just go out and just do shit, because you'll be surprised that if you dedicate yourself to just the idea of you're gonna be out there, it might yield some really cool results.
Such 4 important words. What happens if I? What happens if I? And that means throwing yourself into a situation that is a little different. Surrounding yourself with people who think a little bit differently, or new people, and striving for something else. What happens if I? Wouldn't it be cool if? What would happen if I would? If I did? Yeah, just have fun. Have fun. That's it, man. And dedicate a time for you to let yourself do this and get a kilt. Oh yeah, Reza, you strike me as a kilt wearer.
I'm glad you brought back kilt. I was going to drop it, but I think you're speaking as a tall man when you say everybody should have a kilt.
No,
I'm not
dude.
sure. The one time I rocked a kilt as part of my costume was opening for KMFDM, and NS totally showed me up. He was wearing a kilt also. Really, the difference was striking.
No. This is the thing about a kilt, is that the kilt is it is a garment of war, and it doesn't matter. Those tall, slender guys, give them the bow and arrow, but those meaty guys, give them the axe. It's that's what I love about a kilt, is that if you choose to rock it, you will rock it. And I've seen people, because it says dude, you shouldn't be wearing a kilt because you're not rocking the kilt. It's I choose to harness the power of this garment. It's like a suit. It's like a good suit. Doesn't matter what shape you are. If you rock that suit, or a wig, if you rock that wig, the wig will rock you back. It is a vibe resonator. It's an attitude resonator. And if you choose to rock that kilt, man, you'll rock that kilt. I am wearing a kilt.
So
Are you wearing a
today's
kilt?
working title is "You Got a William Wallace That Shit."
Yes. Yes. And I want a Mozart wig. I want a pink Mozart wig. I wanted to make music, but then I realized I couldn't put my headphones on it. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. These are
You
my
got to build the
problems.
headphones into the wig.
There you go. And they become wig phones or something. I don't know. Okay.
That's Flight of the Conchords has exactly that.
Do they?
He has a helmet, his bicycle helmet. Brit has a bicycle helmet with
Brits.
big headphones and a black wig on top of it. There's an archetype.
Fantastic.
Brit.
Okay. Bowie is in space. Does anybody else have anything they want to throw in? Because this is a nice place to leave it. We could raid on over to MTV TV. Let's do that. Let's go discover our new favorite band. I want to thank you all for coming. I'm going to give this another pimp that there's a whole bunch of bands that you need to know about. Oh, go away, computer. There's some great tracks on Spotify. Go and enjoy that. As you can see, my computer hates me and hates my life. Thank you for being part of this. We're going to leave this open for a while and have a chat. I wish that everything you do is ludicrous. And let's raid to MTV TV. And bookmark MTV TV. Because it's awesome. Bye. 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 Bye.